akashatam patitam toyam yadha grakshatim tu sagaram sarvo dev namaskaram Keshava patigrakshatim Umapati Mahadeva ki jai. Devotees, please have your seats. Make yourself comfortable. Rest down the chalice there. And all you can make all yourself comfortable in all the seat for the wine. Tonight, we're going to enter into a wonderful discourse here at the Hariko residence, taken from Shiv Puran, in this season where the country is turning red. As you know, tomorrow we have this chanting of the Hanuman Chalisa. And it is my pleasure to sit with you. I'm the Guru of Anjani, Pandit Keshava Gosine. And I'm glad to be together with you all in this season of prayer where we could sit together and talk about Lord Shiva tonight, tomorrow, Devi Ma, Sunday morning, Hanuman Baba. And the reason we are going to do these particular discourse, in Bhagavad Gita, he says, it is good to follow. Person says, for example, Pandit, are you a Hindu? Yes, I'm a Hindu. But if I ask you, everybody have a lingam. I've gone to the temple and I've seen outside the lingam there's a cow, a bull, I'm not sure. That animal is bent looking at the lingam. What is that about? Imagine you're asking me that. I'm calling myself a Hindu. I understand the situation. Why is that there? I understand the lingam is Lord Shiva. But what's the significance of that animal being there? The name of that animal, for the younger Hindu here tonight, Nandi. Nandi is the Vahan of Lord Shiva. Nandi is the bull, the male, not female, the male. That is the vehicle of Lord Shiva. But sometimes, and I'm just using this one example, people have questions within our feet. Why do you put the red flowers or the red powder, sindoor? Why are we offering these things, doing these things? Whether for Lord Shiva, Durga Mata, Hanuman Baba, whichever form you like or you love. And the truth is, for some people, if somebody says, let me just pretend, brother, I am from a different religion. I see it as put up a nice tall red flag when you're having Hanuman Puja. It tends to be the tallest of all the different flags. Why is that? Why you just do that? I've seen when you're building roof, you just put a little red cloth. For those of you that had the experience of going to a funeral where you're digging the grave, not burning the body in the fire. When they used to dig the grave, they used to put a red flag, a red piece of cloth. I say it for children who maybe never seen this. Before the gravers would dig this plot here, they would put it on his side like a little flag, and they would do some steps, and then they're going to start to dig. In today's world, let's say I'm transporting some material or metal or something on the roadway, you see a red flag, a red piece of cloth waving in the wind. Why is that done? I've heard that is a Hindu thing. And to be honest, many Hindus will say, why? Pandit, I don't know, My mother used to do it so, my father-in-law teach me to do it so, the Pandit tell me to do it, so that is why I do it. They now tell me to put that, so I put it. But I don't know why I do a lot of things in my dharma. He says in Gita, it's good to follow. If you consider yourself a Sanatan Dharma person, a follower of Sanatan Dharma, Sanatanist, or you call yourself Hindu, it's good. I born in a Hindu home, Pandit, so I know prayers one way, and I do that. Good, no problem. Better than that is when you know about what you're doing. Imagine tonight in our conversation, you are praying and Durga Mata, Lord Shiva, again appears in front of you and says, yes, you've made wonderful prasad. Nice, your prasad is the best. You're dressed to the T, you're looking the best. Good. What it is you're praying for? Why have you given to me this Lapsi and Zohari, for example? What could I give you as a blessing for this? Problem is, imagine now, if you don't know why you're holding the watch or the glasses or whatever it is offering your prayers, and you're talking to somebody, you're telling them, I'm giving you this because so on, so on, so on, so. Imagine this. Let me just use an example. Doob grass is quite common in our prayer. But not everybody know that if the person is taking Andrews or Alka-Seltzer, that comes from doob grass. They mash up the grass. They take the extract from the plant and they make things that calm the acid in your stomach. So most times in prayer, you see the person offer, let's just say Ganesh Baba, laddu, water, as if I'm giving you something to eat by the table and then something to drink. And now, in case, because I didn't taste the laddu, suppose I mix up salt or sugar or it somehow it wrong, it that isn't good, I'm going to give you medicine now. You're a guest at my home and I want to give you this medicine so that in case you are sickly, you'll get good. But in case karma is how I give, is so I get. In case the stomach giving you trouble, overcome it, feel better. And I'm giving you that. Bless me with health and healing. So people now in practical application, people who have acid reflux, people who on different type of tablet, all you know are saying omeprazole and all these other tablets, and you're watching the lime pepper but you can't drink it, you're watching the coffee but you can't drink it. As the acid, oh God, I want to throw up. The girl who pregnant, she want to throw up. Everybody want to throw up. What could I do upon it? Then how you give is so you get applies. So in the prayer, imagine the girl who is with baby and vomiting, sickly now, are taking, let me say, as far as chemotherapy for cancer, and with that therapy it is be throwing up a lot. And I want to put a little control in it. I want to pray for help. Then such people, in my example, take nice healthy doob grass and they go in front of Ganesh Murti and say, dear God, I have a little problem. I'm offering this doob grass mala, I'm offering this doob grass. Please bless me to just catch myself and stop being so sick and throwing up and vomiting. Bless the ulcers to dry and to heal so that I could get better or be better. Prem se bolo Shri Ganesh Bhagwan ki jai. When you understand why you are doing what you are doing, then you can talk to him. But think about it. If somebody come and say, you offering milk, where you offering that for? Me and know the pundit tell me. The flowers, the neem leaf, the incense, the arti, the parsad, every step you follow. But you are not able to talk because I can't say whether Ganesh or Shiva, whichever one you follow me with. I don't know why I'm doing these things. Then when somebody says, say your prayers, hold your parsad, pundit, hold your offering and say your prayers. You're going to offer the dar, say your prayers. Why offering this for again? I don't know. And this is a problem that affects us all because you understand it good for children. But if mommy and daddy home don't know what they're going to tell the children, ma, how come the dar today looking white? Well, it have milk. Why it have milk for? Well, milk, son, what she's supposed to say, son, milk is a liquid form of Lakshmi Mata. And when daddy in the business not making sales or you want to be able to save more money, offer in the dar or the offering to the god like the Lotani Lingam or in the earth, offer the milk and you will get that barakat coming back to you. When you don't have those answers, children will come back and say, see, me ain't doing none of them things. Me and I about it, and they're looking like I gotta learn, so better I don't do it. Tonight, we've come together for something called Gyan Yagya. Gyan Yagya is a type of yag where we sit together to learn about God. But Gyan means information, knowledge. About what? About your God. So the intention, the objective is that at the end of our meeting tonight, in our short meeting, we have to walk away with a little bit of information, a little bit of knowledge that pull you closer to your God. In tonight's discourse, Lord Shiva, to understand a little Inca amount more, incremental amount, not too much. Tonight, I want to give you the history taken from Shifran about that bull that you see by this lingam. So that when you see it, you're going to understand why. For example, if somebody went to a Shiv temple, it have so many in Trinidad, or you go India or you go somewhere else, this bull is always opposite the lingam, watching. If you pay attention the next time you go, the mouth looks like a O, like he's whistling. And what he's doing there, just to entice your knowledge, He's blowing. There are different ways we jarry somebody. I could take a peacock feather, kush grass, a flowers. Some people jarry with onion skin. The mommy and them just do that. Different things that are used, charged by prayer to take off negative energy of the person's aura. But one of the commonalities in all those methods is blowing, introducing the person who say the prayers energy on the person who energy a little deficient. That deficiency, we just like to call it badai, najar, malju, choose a word. In the case now with this bull, just to show you something, Lord Shiva was on fire. That lingam is always very heated, according to his discourses. So now you and I, this bison, same thing. All are we trying to cool him down? So me and you just go with water, with milk, Baba, calm down, cool down. Imagine we trying to out a fire. The bull now, because of his involvement in this cooling process, he came and he started to, you ever see a parent trying to blow down a child for it to cool off? You know, the sun was very hot today. Imagine mommy trying to blow the poor baby overcome by heat. This fella, this is not mommy now. This is like a child trying to keep the parent cool. He was literally on fire. And because of this, humans like me and you came there, Shiv Baba, because you're on fire. We're trying to cool you down, and they start to beat him. He always, because he swallowed the poison here, the water was in his hair, the Ganga, and at different times, different things was trying to cool him down. When the lingam formed now, it got worse. So this bull was positioned there to assist in the cooling process. But Baba, I never hear that. And that is my point. Tonight, in a very simple way, easy discourse. Now for now, we go finish. But when we finish, walk away. When you go to a temple and you see Nandi there, know why you bow. If you see somebody RT him, know why you bow. And tonight we begin just 3 nights, discourse that enrich the person, yourself, your family, your children, so that you must learn about your God little bit, more and more. Prem Savalo Mahapati Mahadeva Ki Jai. Everybody put your hands together. That's not we do a couple of verses of the Sumran. Just quote for me. This is where you're asking Lord Shiva for his blessing, for his permission, for you to hear, for you to listen, for you to learn. And remember what you learn. Dear God, by your grace, you've afforded me the opportunity to sit together with good people, talking and discussing good things. When we get an opportunity to gossip, for some people, gossip is very enticing. It's a good story, juicy story. But one day, we become the subject matter and they're talking about me, my life, my marriage, my children, and that day, it's not so enticing. How about, dear God, tonight, I use the opportunity to talk about you, to learn, to listen about your katha, your blessing, your glory, and what I, as the Hindu, what I believe in. I want to learn a little bit. This prayer is where you're asking, dear God, you give me the opportunity, but help me to learn, help me to step up through karma so that I could remember. Gauri Shankara Padakamala Prema Sahita Hiyale Srimad Shambhu Puranya Ke Basha Rachahu Shubha Shruti Samveda Nadi Shiva Samba Sachidanan Nirguna Brahma Vilaka Ek Dhyayami Sukhakan Mata Pita Guru Bharati Veda Vyasa Munesh Prema Sahita Karajora Kara Sabhi Nawahu Shesh Gauri Shankara Parakamala Prema Sahita Hiyale Srimad Shambhu Puranya Ke Basha Rachahu Shubha Srimad Shambhu Puranya Ke Basha Rachahu Shubham. Prem Swalo Mahapati Mahadeva Ki Jai. Tonight we read from Shiv Puran, Satarudra Samhita, chapter 6. In this section, where Nandi or Nandishwar, the same bull, he is reciting forms after form. The person who is listening to him, he is a old soul, an old senior person, but he is in the form of a little boy, Sanat Kumar. And Sanat Kumar wants to know, okay, Nandi, you are the best friend of Lord Shiva. You know him better than anybody. Please tell me, how did he get the blue throat? Please tell me how he got Chandrasekhara or the moon in the head. How come when a child is in today's world has a difference, a special ability, and you hear in the school system they're talking about autism, they're talking about ADHD, they're talking about different things that make this child differently abled. Why is it Hindu people pray to this particular form called Chandrasekhara? So Nandi, in one of the previous chapter, he says because the moon and the magnetic effect it has on the brain, just as how, you know, in sometimes when husband and wife quarreling, you go hear the man say to the lady, but you're moving moody like the moon, man. If I slap you today, you laugh. But a few days from now, same lash, you cry. Meaning the same thing happens, but your reaction is different. As the phase of the moon is changing, the ocean is changing. When it's full moon, the water is rough, very big waves. When it's new moon, calm, same ocean. And the difference is as the moon comes closer to the earth and it looks big in the sky, the magnetic pull of the moon is raising the water. And the correlation with the human is our body is filled with water, blood, tears, urine, you name it. So as the moon is changing, it impacts how children sleep, how people get angry, how they behave, how they quarrel, etc. Hence the statement, you're moving like the moon. In today's world, they tell you stay away from magnet. So somebody who is epileptic, for example, they stay away from too much screen time, too much a phone and a tablet and all these things. Your brain is being interfered with by this device. And it's only when parents are in that situation and they realize the dangers that they could experience with it. The child, with an epileptic child, they will have a fit, they could fall, they could bite up their tongue, they could, all these things. And where is that dealt with? In the Lord Shiva discourse, where the moon is sitting on his head. He says he controls the moon and all its influence. So for the person who is quarrelsome in a marriage, the child is very aggressive, the child is very distracted in school, and I want that child to timmer down. Pray to Lord Shiva in this way. So Nandi is giving these tidbits, tidbit after tidbit about the same Lord Shiva that me and you worship. But now how do I take the worship and bring it to my day-to-day life? There are so many forms of Lord Shiva, but I don't know how he fits with my problems. If I go to my God, I go for a reason. If I say, everybody, wait, let's do Saraswati Puja, everybody will say, well, Babs, I hear when you have exams to face, I do Saraswati Puja. So you understand how to fit mother and her purpose in this part, in this section of your life. But there are many, many parts that we don't get to talk about. For example, in a marriage, let me just say, I, as the husband, and I do something that disappoint you. I really, really get you vexed. I cheated. I was bad. I was really bad. And you notice now, the lady in the marriage, and I'm just using it as an example because I'm a man, it could go the other way, does not want to forget. We together, but I can't forget where you do upon it. Then the person goes to Saraswati Mata. And in this regard, for the saving of the marriage, dear mother, please bless me to forget. People focus, remember, with exam time. But in this life, if you don't move on from past pain, Imagine everything this husband of yours do, you hold on to it. Everything this child do, you hold on to it. Every co-worker, everybody that tell you damn, you hold on to it. You'll be a very angry, really aggressive person. And in order to sometimes move on, you have to forgive. And in order to forgive properly, you have to forget. Truthfully, you have to say, you know what, you did that, you made a mistake, it was 10 years ago, you improve, I see the change, I am not angry anymore. That is an example of taking Saraswati Mata and utilizing it like a tablet. I have a headache, I take Tylenol. When you don't have the headache, don't take Tylenol. In the same way, when you overcome one hurdle in your life, maybe we take a break from this prayer, but we need to apply a different solution when the problems change. Because every day we get up, everybody, be honest, we have a different problem. Problems change, but they don't stop coming. So the purpose of a prayer is depending on the trouble. I must learn about my God to solve the trouble, to fix the problem. And this is why we sit to talk tonight. Tonight we hear about the history of this Nandi. Everybody, let's do the first slok as we get into tonight's discourse. As Nandi is being asked, tell me how, Sanat Kumar is asking, I heard Nandi, bull, Vahan of Lord Shiva, I heard that you are a part incarnation. You've just told me about Chandrasekhar. You've told me Hanuman is a form of Lord Shiva. You told me Bhairo is a form of Lord Shiva. I'm enjoying this. I'm really learning about my God, and I'm reveling in it. I've reached a point, instead of we gossip about this one and that one, you hear that one win the lottery, whatever, man, let me sit down and talk something positive, something uplifting. And now you get the opportunity where you could just hush and listen. So he's telling him, thanks for that. I'm enjoying it. I want more. They would tell me something again. He says, how is it people say you who hold up Shiva is a part of Shiva? Is a form of Shiva. So I see people arting you and putting mala for you. How? What is that story? How is it you, of all the bison in the world, you became the Vahan, the vehicle of Lord Shiva? How is it you came so close to him? Everybody, let me sing together as we do the first slok tonight. जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, 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 जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम, जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम, हे सनत कुमार सर्वज्ञाये तम, भक्तवत्सल शृणुया ये कथातम, शिव प्रोक्त महादेव मुनि सलिदाये ये आती, जय बोले बाबा तब शरणम, 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 जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम, जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम, आदो दृश्य पर ये आती, शिव दो नाम वर ये आतम, इंद्र आते वर्ष ये आती, यो आती सगुन ये आतम, जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम। उमापति महादेव की जय। Nandishwar says to him, you want to hear my katha? You want to hear my discourse? He says, yes, Guruji. Please tell me how you and Lord Shiva came so close. I've heard from other people, I've asked them the question and they said that you and Shiva are the same. But I've heard Parvati Mata say that you are like her son. Excuse. How Please give me an explanation for all these things. He says, it begins it begins with my father. My father was a great bhakt of Lord Shiva. His name was Salida. Salida lived on Kailash Parbat and spent his life engaged in Lord Shiva's Seva, Puja, prayers, and penance. But at one point, those that had passed away in the family of Salida, the ancestors and so on, in spirit form, let's say for children, ghost form, they came close to him. Son, we are going through hardship, we are going through difficulty, and as our child, it is your divine duty to assist us. For this reason, the son is called Putra and the daughter is called Putri. That the son and the daughter, by their choices, by their actions, by the life that they live, they just by living correct, being honest, being straightforward, etc., these souls were given this task of being the son or the daughter, that they have the ability to uplift their parent soul. So let's just say in the example of a girl child, the boy child we understand, of a pinda, do shrad, etc. Help daddy and mommy's soul. But in the girl child, which is sometimes underscored, the girl is the one who could uplift the father and the mother whilst life is within the body. The son, you have to die first. Then Bandara, Shrad, all these things, Nandimuk Shrad, these things will be done after you've passed away. But the girl, in one example, but not the only one, but in one, when the day of a wedding comes and the father presents her to the husband's side, and the name change is done and so on, and the girl is taught properly. Taught properly does not refer only how to make the curry aloo or household stuff. But what about the real one that is causing trouble? To be straightforward, to be honest. When you say are going to do something, stick to it and do it. I will help you in the business. I will help you in this house. I will help you equally with our duties to these children, and stick to it. One day, when I'm saying son-in-law, boy, who train you in all of this? Who make you the strong person that you are? Who make you so diligent? The ladies today, let me be fair. Ladies have physical bodily pain on a regular basis, still do their job, still look after chores, still help with homework. It's a lot. Who train you to do all that? Who train you to manage your time and resources and get it all done? And that's the day daddy and mommy, your parents, get the blessing. In fact, we put so much weight on the value of a girl. Chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita says, people banter about Kali Yuga, Kali Yuga. Gita says, what is Kali Yuga? In chapter 1, he says, when the women of the family, the women of society, stop doing their job, stop maintaining traditions, stop teaching their children, then you are in Kali Yuga. If, for example, your mother, just let's say hypothetical, your mother didn't teach you table manners, toilet manners, dress code, manners, behavior, when you come in this house, say Sitaram, good evening, good night, whatever have you, who would you be? In fact, they tell you a sinful soul. How do you know a sinful person? The person is not taught much by their mother. You don't want to go to school? No problem, don't go. You don't want to light the deer? No problem, don't go. However, how do you see the blessing in your life? You get a lady that is rigid. You're going good, I bless you. But the day you step out of bounds, I am there to pull you straight. That strength translates to good teachings in her life. And the person who gets the credit truthfully is the mother and the father. These Pitras say, if you had a son, if you had a daughter, we would have been reaping the rewards Instead, you have engaged in nitya karma or personal prayer. I'm praying for my upliftment, but I'm not doing any pindadan. I'm not doing things that will assist the souls in the family. Charity, seva, etc. He is only saying prayers, doing jap, etc. So Salida says, tell me what to do. What could I do to assist you? And they tell him, if you have a son, if you have a child, that child, when that child does good, we will gain the benefit, because that is the benefit of these children. He says, okay. And he goes and he sits down and he prays and he's calling on Lord Indra. Dear Lord Indra, please assist me. Please help me. I want to have a child. Let's hear what he says in this verse. जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम 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 जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम पुत्रं दशमी पुत्राणीतं मृत्युया सयुगन ये आति तेना धामी सयोनी च येना सतवे दशयामी जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम तस्मै सदयुग गिनियाति पुत्र पुत्री मृत्यये शक्तम परियातम शर्गये याति महयेन्द्र सर्वये आतौ जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम जय जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम उमापति महादेव की जय. So Salida goes and he prays to Indra, all the gods, all the devatas. God of lightning and rain is Indra, God of the water, Varun, God of the fire, Agni. He's calling on all of them. And one day, after a long time, Indra does appear. And he says, I'm so pleased with your prayer. It's pure, focused, not distracted. Me and you, we go to do Havan, let me be fair. We go to offer prayer. If somebody talking inside, we listen to what them talking about. We are not focusing on what happening here. If our cell phone ring once, I know I guilty of this. I don't know about you. I'm going to watch to see who calling. And in different ways, distractions come. But some people, God bless them, they have this ability, don't know where it come from, but regardless of what is happening, calmly, because when we're doing the prayers correct, we're not supposed to be getting vexed midway in the prayer. But it does happen. The morning for your prayer, check yourself. The morning, the Baba in front. Oh God, more hustle now. The morning for the prayer, the children is irritate you more. The husband, the wife doing different things. Hustle. But the last thing is calm or focus on your prayer. But that prayer is what going to help you with your desire. This fella, on the other hand, is the type the rain falling as it is seen sometime in the movies, the sun blazing, regardless of the changes in the environment, the noises. He remains steadfast. He remains focused. And Indra is drawn. He cannot help. You have to go to reward him because of that devoted way. He says, dear sage, how could I reward you? What it is you did all this intense prayer about? What it is for? He says, I want to have a child. Let this child be very strong. Let this child be born without coming from contact between man and woman. Meaning it does not come from the belly or the womb. Because of his prayer, he does not live the lifestyle of the householder, wife and husband. How will I get a child other than that? Dear God, by your intervention, let this child be, appearing. Let this child be blessed and appear. Strange request. And then he says, lastly, let this child be Chiranjeevi. Let this child be free from death. Everlasting. Indra says, you see that what you're asking there? I don't have the authority. I don't have the power. None of the devatas have the power to give that. Brahma, Vishnu, none of us could give that. He says, however, if you go to Jagat Guru, if you go to the world's Guru, Lord Shiva, Tripurari, the one who destroys Tripura, when nobody could destroy this bad guy called Tripura, Lord Shiva was able to do that. If you go to him, what is impossible for other people, it becomes very possible for him. And he could give you such a child. For this reason, do you remember Om Trayambakam Yajamahi Sugandim Pushti Vardhana mantra? Mrityunjay mantra. Mrityu means death. Jai means the one who could have victory over death. So the person says that prayer, dear God, I bow to you who has the ability, if you lift your hand and you bless me, simple language, bless me. If the doctor says, book it, call your pundit, prepare, funeral coming. If I pray to you, you could make the impossible happen. And it happens. When in my experience, you're going to pray for people in the hospital wards. Pundit, people cry, relatives cry. Pundit, the doctor just told us the bad news. Will you be available to do daddy's funeral? I'm sure as Hindus you've heard, let me call it miracle. And I've said to people many times, there are cases where, death is imminent. But there are some cases where we could fight. Use your prayer and fight. Use it properly, do it properly, and you could get it. And the doctor would come back and ask you, if you ever had the experience, what prayers will he do? How this man still living? How? What is his secret? Because the doctor was the secret too. Truthfully. Some people, when they get a prognosis, they get a diagnosis, and they reach to this point where there's no hope. Then the only hope becomes your God. But if we don't know what that Mrityunjay mantra is about, then, well, who are you going to call? Somebody you don't know? So he's saying this tonight, please remember. He says, that person who could rid death from a person's pathway is the only person to give you a deathless son. You want that person to born without human contact? You want him to come in human form? Then, my friend, Sadhu, Swami, my advice to you is go and pray to Shiva. And only him can give you such a vardhan or blessing. Prem Sabalo Mahapati Mahadeva ki jai. Salida went and he sits and he prays long time. Years and years pass. And he becomes so engrossed in his prayer. I don't know if you have ever seen somebody do that. Have you ever seen somebody get so caught up? They close their eye, maybe a billion sararoti in the morning. Not to be confused that only people who have long beard or dress like what we see in the TV could be a devoted person. Imagine, practical. I'm singing my Hanuman Chalisa and whatever bhajan, and I'm so engrossed in what I'm doing. Sometimes the little sapi catch on fire. Mommy, ma, fire. And totally you're not there. You're in your own little world. Imagine it have some people who could focus, even if there's death, trouble, difficult moments, but they are in their Hanuman, and I'm using Hanuman Chalisa because we all know that prayer, and you're seeing in the heart and mind Hanumanji flying with the mountain and he's going, you will see people cooking roti and they're crying. So it is possible to make the connection in anything, in everything that you're doing. I could see a nice baby and see the beauty in that Krishna Katha. And your mind gone for the person who believe in God. Krishna look on this child nice, and tears start to flow. Ask the person what you're crying for. You're jealous the child. You wish the child could hush. You wish the child wasn't here. No, Baba, I remember the Bhagavad discourse when Mother Yashoda was running down Krishna. A different type of temperament. And that connection takes you into your prayer. So this is such a person. This person, no matter what going on, maybe me and you, we go watch we clock, oh God, this prayer is going long. Oh Father, when they go bring the chana and alu, oh, compounded, pull your hand there. Me and you might be guilty of that. I agree with that. But this person, you ever come across maybe an elder in your family, they love the prayers? You know, long time in today's world, Angie might tell me, Babs, see when it's 8:30, cut off. That enough kata, we learn enough. But long time people, like in my experience with my grandparents, them used to do satsang for 9 o'clock. Then they'll take a coffee break and they'll come back and sit down and blog about their Ramayana and their discourse and they'll go on. And the capacity to listen was only predicated on the fact that I love to listen to these things. I love to enjoy it and I get so engrossed that time going. But I'm still listening. I want to hear more. This was a character like that. And one day Lord Shiva does appear. And he's sitting right there. God is in front of him. Parvati Mata is next to him. Noise. All the devtas throwing flowers. Everybody making noise. But Mr. Salida is not opening his eyes. He couldn't be concerned with this moment. It takes Lord Shiva to lean forward, lean up the threshold. See it in your mind. Lean up the threshold and touch him. Son, I'm here. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Tat prasanna ho bhaga he Chandrasekhara he Trishulitam Paramashila Muniyate Bhaga ye Salidam. I've put down my Trishul. I'm here to grant any desire you have. I am so pleased with the way you have prayed. Sometimes we just consider that to be the right flag, our focus, the right flowers. You have to have mother flowers. Baba, look, I make a beautiful mala. Nothing wrong with this. What I saying? Making the pretty mala. Baba, look, I put on the right clothes too. I make batasa here. You have to make batasa for Lord Shiva prayers. Good, very good. What about you? What about your way, your focus, your honesty, your approach to prayer? You know, we talk a lot, but imagine everybody could see my belly big. I'm supposed to be in the gym, but me are going to change. Me are going to make time for the right thing. It have people who is cheating their marriage, abscond the duties for children, you name it. We all make mistakes, but how much are we? When we go by that baby and we call on Lord Shiva, I see, Mani Baba, you see me today, I realize I'm going wrong. And I'm going to do my part to change. So I'm going down by the baby with 4 bad habits. I just say 4 bad habits. But you see, when I leave this president, I'll leave him with 3. I'm giving up 1. If my vice is gambling, if my vice is drinking, if my vice is not going to the gym, oh, Baba, you see, for you, between me and you, I'm going to change. Instead, at least for me, man, about you, I go in by the baby, ask for all the help in the world, but I am going to change. I am going to do anything different. I am not going to better myself, to be honest. If tonight we had to be very honest, what about you? God is looking at you. We look at the quality, the color of the terrier. Think how far we just go. The terrier have to be brass. It have to be shining. Shine the Burton, Baba. Good. The parsad must not have white sugar. We must use brown sugar. It must have, it must patch properly. Good, no problem. What about the hand we're holding the terrier? Any shining going on there? Yeah, sure, Baba. In this case, Lord Shiva says, your hands, in my analogy, follow me, your hands were so shiny and nice. You prepare yourself. And you didn't have all the prasad. You didn't have all the necessity. I mean, after all, he's on a mountain. And wherever little he had, he was offering ice. Not the flowers that you and I have growing in the yard. Not the bale tree. Not the jandi. There's no bamboo in certain countries. On the top of Kailash Parvat, trust me, in that cold place, you have bamboo growing. So the offering comes from here. For the person who have a stroke, think what I'm saying. We chant when we go in the hospital and the person has a stroke, there's something called Shiv Manas Puja. Shiv Manas Puja, Manas meaning mental prayer. Ratne kalpita masanam himajale. Lord Shiva, today these two hands can't work again, boy. Because of age, because I don't have a hand, you name the reason. The same thing as I can't hold the lota like this to bathe you. But in my mind, I am holding a lota. And I'm not like auntie and uncle bathing plastic and watching it and wondering if he accepted it. No. Today in my mind, I am bathing you and I'm seeing you smiling. Oh, the water cold, your paws raising. When I feed in the parasad, I feed it to your mouth. Look, you're smiling, you like it. You like how I cook that parasad. My conversation with you in my mind, I seen that. Let me be fair, everybody they say, Baba, I can see Lord Shiva. Think what I say, remember the Murti is there just like for children to help you remember what he looked like. What he looked like again? He looked blue. Okay, close my 2 seconds, I have to open it back. But when you advance yourself, God bless you, then I could close my eye and I could see him in my mind. And when you go further, because sometimes, devotees, sometimes you're trapped in a bed. Sometimes you're trapped in pampas. Sometimes you're trapped in a place where there's no mandir. If you happen, let me say children, they travel and they go to a country where there's no support for you to do prayer. What will you do? Then you pray truthfully and you pray properly. He says, I was so impressed with your prayer that I have come to grant anything that you want. Tell me what this tapasya you have done, what it is for. He says, Baba, I have been praying for a son, but I would like a son, O Chandrasekhara, that is not born from the contact of the father and the mother. I would like a son that is everlasting, free from death and decay. Make my son very strong. He says, such a person. There's only one person like this. Other than that, no normal mortal, no normal Jeev Atma will give you that. He says in previous times, I was asked by Brahma and the Devatas to come upon the earth. So, to grant your desire, I will incarnate a portion of my energy, will come as your son, and you will become the father of this entire world. Jagat Pita is Shiva. You will become my father. And I will remain with you. I will bring you happiness. I will bring you joy. And when in that form that Leela is playing, O Shalida, where your son Nandi will be engaged in different type of prayer, different katha, different moments, know that you and your ancestors will reap the rewards. Prem Savaloma Pati Mahadeva Ki Jai. Sitaram, everybody. Welcome to the satsang. Let's enter now this next slok where Salida wants to know what is coming to his house. What is happening? Sanakumar says, please describe what happened next. Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam. 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 Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam.
Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam.
Suputra Putra Sheshti Yagnas. Sufala Parama Shivoyate Sadeva Vishwadhyayami Shivarupani Ye Lakshatam Jaya Bole Baba Tab Sharanam Jaya Bole Baba Tab Sharanam Jaya Bole Baba Tab Sharanam
Jaya Bole Baba Tab Sharanam
Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam
Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam
Ladyate Nandishwar Yatam Sureshwar Jivat Devananda Namami Jagat Ishwar Pyat Maya Sahaye Ye Atam Jaya Bole Baba Tab Sharanam
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 Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam
Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam
Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam Umapati Mahadeva Ki Jai. He's guided by Lord Shiva. He says, but first, before I give you the child, you have to fulfill a certain ritual, a certain rite. Just as how in our yagya here in this yagya shala, we are doing something called Gyan Yagya. Yagya is a fancy word taken from chapter 3, verse 10 of Bhagavad Gita. It means sacrifice in our language. A person makes gifts of sacrifice of prasad, food, gifts for children, but it usually begins with the type of time management that the person allocates. You see, that time I'm going to sacrifice the time, the money, the effort, my diet for the fasting part of it. A lot of sacrifice goes into this yagya. And then I'm going, because we could have sat just the hariko home and I could have said the same discourse. But instead, the person wants to make the effort. Clearly, by the decoration, you could see the effort, the sacrifice to share this moment with important people like yourself. And to add to the word yagya, Gyan yagya is where you have a sacrifice or a yagya for the purpose of gaining knowledge about your God. But this guy is being told now there is something called Putrishti yagya. The type of yagya or puja, when done, the idea is to get children. We hear about this when Ganesh Baba has to be made, etc. There are many instances of this. Raja Dasrath, for example, when he couldn't have boy children, he had to do this yagya to get children. This moment comes and Salida does the prayer. And when it was done, when it is done and all the devatas are celebrating, right where the puja was being done, a mini Lord Shiva. If you ever see it in your WhatsApp or you see it in a picture, a meme of like a baby. Let's imagine a 2-year-old or less looks like Lord Shiva, but just in baby form. This is reminiscent of this discourse. Lord Shiva manifests in front of all that were present, including the Father. As he said, dear God, I've done this prayer, I've given the prasad, I've given this, that, and the other, so that I could have the child that you told me I would have. Baby appear. Little Trishul, little Jata, looking like Mahadev Baba, how you know him to look. The father starts to cry profusely. Nandishwar says, blessed are the people that when they say their prayer, they have that moment where they connect with the divine. For any person that has that moment, you know what I'm talking about. The first thing happens, you lose your words. You get emotional. Something is happening, I can't sit down. I cannot express what is happening. But I'm learning that when I sit down to pray, when I'm singing, when I'm talking to him, I feel something from the inside. And it causes me sometimes to sweat, it causes me to cry, it causes me to react in different ways. Today now I'm seeing my blessing manifest. I'm seeing this child taking form. Imagine was one thing to sit down and say prayers. But imagine now God says, okay, you want that? Have it. Imagine just for our conversation here tonight, your child is not doing good in school and I prayed. And you know what? The child did good. The child brought home the passes. The child got through the interview. They got the visa. They got the mortgage. They had a child themselves. Imagine inside of you, you alone know the prayer you said to God. You alone know what you said, and now it manifested after you said your prayer. In that moment of emotion, in the same way, he starts to cry and he says, oh Ishwar, it is so amazing how you work. You told me to do the prayer, I did the prayer, and dear God, look, the prayer finished good. And look, the baby is here. Prabhu, Shankar, may you please allow this child to transform into the human form now. Human form. Allow this child to have features that I would be able to cuddle, to caress, to train, to teach, to love, etc. He says, in the moment, the voice from heaven says, what you are praying for again, oh divine devotee, whatever you ask for, Mari Baba is going to give it to you. Tatastu, and in the blink of an eye, what looked like Lord Shiva looks like a normal toddling, tossing baby. Crying, gurgling, asking for somebody to lift him up, etc. Inside of this person, he thinks, well, God bless this, correct me if I'm wrong. God give me this. What could go wrong? Imagine anybody here. You sit down and you pray for something. What could go wrong? Dear God, bless me with the car. What could go wrong? God bless me with the job. What could go wrong? God, you bless the marriage. What could go wrong? God bless it. Nandishwar says, in becoming what is called Jagat Guru, at the beginning I said that term. Guru means darkness. Take off all the light here. And I don't know how to walk around this table and get around that camera without tottling or making some mistakes. The person comes with a light, flashlight, touch light, whichever. Come this side, turn left, turn right, and maneuver around the obstacles in this life. That person becomes Guru. That is a Guru. That is what it means. It is indicative of the guide. When you're in your darkest and you cannot see a way out of the trouble, this person will give you the advice or words that help you maneuver. Jagat means world, so Lord Shiva is the world's Guru. So a Guru, from time to time, puts you to a test. Please bear in mind, when bad things, check yourself, when bad things happen, when you little scratch, dent, dig, the traffic, something happen, you hear somebody say, you see, Pandit, the devil is a busy man. You see, the devil works. You see how the devil busy? But the devil come from a different religion. The idea is, in that religion, good things come from God. In a summarized form, bad things, bad luck, harsh times, not nice times, comes from the devil. But as a Hindu, as a Sanatanist, there is no devil. We truly believe that everything comes from God. We say it, but you have to understand that bad times also come from God too. Sickness, difficulty, testing moments, financial insecurity, afraid I lost my job, afraid they don't renew the contract. In this example, Nandishwar says Lord Shiva wanted to test the father. You prayed for something and you get it. Good. Will you stop praying? Will you lose your faith? Will you become complacent now? Let me see what you will do. So Salida goes and he does all the sanskar. How does a Hindu celebrate when you have a child? How do you celebrate the first birthday? That on that first birthday, before I guess we cut cake, ice cream, all that, you usually do puja, mundan sanskar, and you see the people cut the child's hair, boy or girl, to purify the child from the sin that they are born with from previous birth, punishment, sickness. We don't want this child to develop a heart condition. We don't want this child to have a speech impediment. Punishment that comes from previous birth. Understand something? Eh? In different religion, we are told everybody is made by God in his image. But, If you look at each person, the Hindu faith says nobody's perfect. Where was God? Let me put it in a different way. Where was God when the person was born who is blind, deaf, mute, mentally unstable, hormonally unstable, different in some way or the other? Hinduism says the difference in our bodies, coming down from the mole, the birthmark on your body, to the different scar, ability to have a child as a lady, the inability to have a child. What make you so? Same God, but what is the parameter that, let's just say we are two sisters, one sister could have 15 children, and this sister potting cannot hold one. Why the difference? The difference comes from your past karma. For example, he says in Gurdpran, you love to say, let me just say, Keshava went to court, and I say, you see this fella in this peach kurta, he will kill the people. And I know a line. No problem, boy. In your next life, you like to tell tales. You like to say you see and you never see. Don't worry. This ain't gonna work. You love to listen to gossip. You love to listen to juicy tales about other people, whether it's true or not. Don't worry, boy. In your next life, this will not work. Same God make you. God make everybody. You like to tell lies. You like to make false promise. You like to give your word and break your word. No problem. When you're born again, if it work, you might have a little impediment. When you have somebody who's autistic and they are non-verbal, understand why this child not talking. Maybe it's the sin. So parents then sit, for example, in different mudra. The mudra is the hand gesture. You know, when you go to get chume, parents, the Maggie one with the gills, them is with the grass around the person. You use that, you're holding that in this hand, and you're using that with the right hand now, with different ingredients, using Gayatri. Dear God, forgive this baby, forgive this baby, forgive this baby of past sins that are now causing differences in their body. So the child may be born non-verbal, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, the child is talking yet. Okay, we start to do the prayers and it starts to work. The child starts to talk. You could improve, you could grow out of it. When you're blowing the airs, when you're bathing them, when you're feeding them food for the first time 6 months into the child's life, all these things are done as a way to overcome past sin. So the parent is diligent. My mother and father never do them things for me, but I heard that there are things I could do to help my child. I want my child to have the best. I didn't know about lessons. I didn't know about YouTube. I didn't know about none of these things when I was studying. But I want to give my child the best footing. What did I say just now? When the mother gives you the pedestal to push you into the better sphere in this life, whether you check job, money, your approach to marriage, your mother could teach you how to be a gentle person as a man, or your mother could teach you, well, if you want to beat the girl, beat the girl. But if your mother is the right one and she says, listen to me, what you want for me, what you want for your sister, want it for somebody else's daughter too. Only a mother could teach her that. That's standard. In the same way, imagine mommy and daddy doing one sanskar, doing the next sanskar. Yes, one day we know about Viva sanskar, get them married to good people in the right way, so that your life becomes better, better, better. And the things that you have done from your past life, don't let it plague this life. Got some of the hardship. So, for example, you were supposed to get into a detrimental car accident. How many times we see it on the news? The car totally gone, it gone. And you know to yourself, that person dead. And then you see the person walk out of the car like nothing. And you're wondering how. People is trip, one little step they trip and they pass away. And you telling me that car exploded and you still living, God really with you. How do you get that kind of blessing? When you have good parents. And parents do all that they have to do. Whether they know about it, they don't know, they're learning. They carry you by the right doctor. They give you all your booster shot. They're cooking healthy food so that you're growing up with a belly like mine. Parents, where we didn't have, you're making sure your children get it. That is parents. That is something that worth worshipping. That is why in Hinduism, Twame Wamata, you are my God, mommy. You are my God, daddy. And that's why. That's the correlation. That's how it works. This father is doing the same thing. This father doesn't wait. He is doing one sanskara after the other. When the child reaches 5 years, he's still very soft and tender. He ties the janev, the upanayan, and he says, when you do that, that also removes sin from the person's pathway. Bless you that you must remember your work. But when he was 7 years old, and it was time to do Guru Diksha, where you tie him to a teacher, where the teacher put the pandit, put the mantra in his ears, Diksha, giving blessing in the ears through the mantra. 2 great munis, Mitra and Varun, came to the father's place, the ashram, and says, I want to bless this child, but let me just look at the birth chart. And they draw it out. And they say, oh, Salida, you are so lucky and unlucky. So the father says, well, how you could be looking at my son's birth chart? Let me just say, simple language, patra. How you could be looking at the patra and you telling me I'm lucky, good, and unlucky at the same time? What do you mean? Any parent here, tell me if I as a pundit says, well, boy, we're going to do good days and bad days. You ever want to know why I'm saying bad days? You ever want to hear pundit what I mean? Likewise, this father says, tell me what you're talking about, please, I don't know. He says, you're so lucky to have such a blessed, educated, powerful child. Unfortunate that he only has 1 year to live. Imagine, put yourself in that. Imagine somebody comes to tell you something like, it could be a pundit, it could be a doctor, it could be somebody. But somebody tell you that, nonetheless. The anguish. Imagine I pray for this man. All the prayers, all the parasada make, all the fasting. Imagine the first stage of pain, dealing with pain, is anger. See somebody, go by a funeral home, go by a hospital, go to a cremation site. When the person is now engaging in the loss of the person, the first thing happens to the person, the victim now, is anger. Why did this have to happen? Why did you have to die? Why did I have to get raped? Why did this accident have to happen? This is why we get angry. This person is so stable, he jumps that, he overcomes the anger. But helpless nonetheless, puts his hand to Lord Shiva still. Even in this, if it was me and you, maybe we'd have get angry with God. God, you caused this. God, you could let this happen. Watch how my mouth would have gone put me in trouble. God, how you could let this happen to me? I pray for this child and now this. This fella a little better. He says, dear God, you have to help me now. I'm in trouble. I love this child so much. I've grown so attached to this child. I cannot afford to lose this child. Starts to cry. All the pundit and everybody who had around him. The child hearing that daddy is crying because I never see my father cry. Dad, what's the problem? And in the moment, the father starts to gush and tell the child, so and so come by the ashram, they read your birth chart, and they said that 1 year from now you're going to die. The child goes, he says, Dad, hold your hand. Relax. This is a test. You are becoming emotional. You are being tested and you're not living up to it, Bad things happen to good people every day. Blessed people, they see the test in it. A teacher somewhere called Lord Shiva is testing you. Will you say your prayers when you jump in the car? Will you one day get away from an accident and you say, see me? I'm never jumping in this car again without putting out flowers or touching that murti. I'm making sure. I'm making sure I change. I'm making sure I better. How much tests will happen before somebody learn the lesson? Every day we are tested. Test don't stop. Let me be honest. He says, you are wavering right now. Don't waver. He says, I'm going to sit down and I, at this young age, 7 years old, I will pray and I will pray for myself. Let's hear in this last couple of shloks what he does. Jaya Bole Baba Tab Sharanam. Jaya Bole Baba Tab Sharanam. Jaya Bole Baba Tab Sharanam.
Jaya Bole Baba Tab Sharanam.
Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam.
Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam.
युक्तये तं पीतुये पादौ प्रणमर शरीरा मुक्तये तं प्रवक्ष कृतये तदयाति वाञ्छित शलिदा पुत्रयाति जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम सर्वे गणपतिये आतो घन घन गणपतिये आति आत्रि मृतये यशयातं नंदीश्वर प्रभुये वाहन जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम 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 Umapati Mahadeva ki jai. This 7-year-old has the knowledge based on the teachings of the parent, but also from the guru, the people that the parent expose children to. Think about what I say. Mommy and daddy wants to get the best lessons. I don't know all those chemistry and physics and add maths and all those terms. You know what? I'll make sure you go to the best school. I'll make sure you get the best lessons or the best tutor. I can't do it, but somebody's going to help you. I'll do my part. The parent exposed them. You know what? I want you to join the cricket side. I want you to play the instrument. I want you to make friend with this child and not this child. The diligent parent, make sure everything from what in the school bag to what they're eating to who they are friends with, the quality of their life. So the day comes now, they are tested. They would have the right ingredients inside of them to pass the test. This father did that as best as he could to a 7-year-old. How much would a 7-year-old know or feel or understand? How much experience in this life to hold faith? Faith. How much hardship they're going through. I know as a lady, when you have the baby in the belly and you're going through hardships and terrible times in the marriage, and you start to spot, and you're afraid you lost what God gave you. And I said my prayers, and I asked God to protect your baby. And I saw God protect you inside of inside that belly. I know based on that, I know, you see that lingam, it's real. That is experience. But that 7-year-old. However, this fella was so taught by his father that when he sat down, he practiced genuine prayer, honest prayer, and he sat there crying to Lord Shiva that I'm going to die. I'm going to die. If you don't intervene, you have to save me. I put my head at your feet. You have to save me. And Lord Shiva appears to him, so dumbstruck himself to see this little form pray so ardent. He lifts his hand and Diksha. Whenever you see a Murti or your parent or your godfather lift their hands like this is called Abhya Mudra. Abhya Mudra means a hand gesture, just like just now when I talk about the Maggie that is used to offer. Anybody ever tell you why we just do this? Just as a little side note here tonight. If somebody says, I've seen you have Hawan spoon, follow me, watch how we just do things, an example, and we doesn't know why. I have seen you have Hawan spoon. So it is use the spoon for the Hawan. But when you go to eat tonight and they cook nice food and everything, how come you don't use spoon to eat the chana now? I see it is use your hand. What's the value of this? You know, long time your grandfather and them used to tell you, man, come on, catch the rice now, man, eat the thing with your hand. It got taste better. Do you know there's a benefit to eating with your hand? It has to do with this. When you go in the wedding and you see the people chewing with the dove grass, what they're doing, let me use a fancy word, on change. Jarring. We've been talking about jarring. Boy and girl, take off the negative. Somebody will watch you and say you look nice. Somebody might watch you and look and say you're ugly. Don't let that negative interfere with you when you go to get married tomorrow. So they unchain the person. What is happening here? In this mudra or hand gesture, Lakshmi sits on the tip of the fingers. So the person is touching the person getting married in my example. Please let Lakshmi Mata save you. Bless you. Imagine the person when they get married and the stomach giving them trouble. They want to throw up midway the prayers. Wedding have to stop now to facilitate that kind of trouble. We don't want that trouble. We don't want headaches, belly trouble, etc. on the day of your wedding. Now, when you go to eat tonight, consider what I'm saying. Every mouthful that you put to your mouth, look where your lips are touching. What the person does, they're saying, Lakshmi Mata, for every mouthful that I ingest, bless it. Bless me, mother. The spoon does not give you that blessing, but your hand gestures does. And this is why you try to eat the parasad with your hand and not a spoon, and your food likewise. If somebody says, if there's a reason, what's the reason? This is the reason. Lakshmi Mata, bless me with health. Lakshmi Mata, bless me to feel better. Lakshmi Mata, bless this food as I eat it. And that's why you do that. In the same way, when the person, let me say the child tonight, you go see Aunt Arti and Mommy. When they arti them, you go see Mommy do so. Diksha is happening here. Diksha is the unseen energy from the middle of the palm. From the mother, in my example, shoots to the child, and the person is saying, my energy flow to you. Whatever you prayed, God bless you, your gate. That is Diksha. That is the meaning. What you put here, you know what I'm saying? This gesture means I share my energy with you. You take it and let it manifest in your life in health, wealth, prosperity, whatever you need at this point in your life. So the person does arti. The person does this arti to get that. Whilst Nandi is praying, Lord Shiva, stand up. He ain't asked him for anything yet. And Lord Shiva done so moved with the prayer. He said, yeah, take all the blessing you want. Take whatever you want. You take it. He says, Mahadev, I don't only want to live. I want to be your vehicle. I want to be close to you. I want to be part of your entourage. I want to be part of your team. I want to be in the company of you. I'm young now, but when I grow up, I want to be useful to you. And I want to be very close to Goddess Parvati. Since I've been growing with this love for Lord Shiva and the Mother. And I want the heights of that worship, I would like it to manifest in me being close to you. Lord Shiva says, dear child, imagine a parent scoop up a baby. He says, dear child, it depends on what your mother says. And he turns to Goddess Parvati and he says to her, would you accept this child as your own? Would you accept this child as your own? And please remember this. There are some people that only love their own children. But you will see another person's child, a homeless child, a child in trouble, and feel no sympathy. It's too hard to give them a piece of roti, a little takari. Too hard. Parvati Mata, on the other hand, does not make biological children. Consider Wasi. At no time does she make with her belly a child. She adopts. She becomes a foster mother of more than just the two, me and you know, Kartik and Ganesh. That is just two. But in this one, she says, I will adopt this child. I will take this child, and this child becomes my child. For that reason, O Shiv Baba, give him a great posting. Lord Shiva calls all the gunners. The gunners are those people who are the helpers of Lord Shiva. In the battle, when Lord Shiva is chanting and getting ready to wage war, his army is the gunners. He says, dear gunners, dear followers, souls, that when you are alive, you did my prayer. Today you are my service. This is my son, Nandi. This person is going to be called Ganapati. Before Ganesh was Ganesh, the first Ganapati was Nandi. When this happened, the first Ganapati means Gana is the workers of Lord Shiva, Pati means the Lord of them, all of them. They bowed to him and they accepted this this Nandi as their first general there. Let me say general. When he was finished, he says, Prabhu, don't forget I want to be your vehicle too. And this is the moment that Lord Shiva changes him into the big, strong bison that we all know. And he says, wherever I'm sitting, whatever I am doing, whatever the moment, you will be right there. When nobody, like for the example with the lingam, you don't see Ganesh, you don't see Kartik, you don't see no other form, but you see Nandi. Because of these sloks, he says, wherever I am, whatever I am doing, you are always there. Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. For this reason, Nandi is accepted as a form of Lord Shiva, but also his son. And whenever you have your little lingam or your big lingam, Nandi is placed there. The reason why he's blowing whenever Lord Shiva needed anything, he's the first one to say, Prabhu, how could I help? How could I give you what you need? What do you need? Tell me what assistance you need. I would like to do it. And for this reason, whenever you see, like in the wedding party, when Lord Shiva was getting married to Parvati Mata, Nandi is in front. He's the Vahan. When there was battle with Shankachud, what caused the Shaligram to form, Nandi was in front getting ready to fight. This is the value of this persona and why. Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. At this point, I would like to, right? Let me get set. We have a little dance coming. Anji is going to give us a dance tonight. And then I have Sergeant Henry with us tonight, a close friend of the family. And we'll ask Sergeant to give us a few words after the dance. So for now, we go to the dance. Ready? Right. Right. Go ahead.
Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
Thank you. Very good. Now let me invite Sergeant Henry. As I said before, it's a close family friend, and we just want to give him the opportunity to share his words with us. Peter. Yeah, you could just turn around. Don't worry. You turn your back to me. It's okay.
Pandiji, members of the Kirtan group, Mr. and Mrs. Hariku, family, friends, Sitaram, Namaste, Pranam. It is a privilege and honor to be here tonight to share in this celebration. And I must take this opportunity to express pride, gratitude for being here tonight to learn to be educated and for you taking the time out to enlighten us on Dharma, on Sanatan Dharma. As we go along, as you rightfully said, many times we are told that this is what was taught to us, so do it this way, do it that way, not understanding the reason behind doing what we do. And I always say that knowledge is power. When you understand what you do it with a little more immense pleasure and that dedication and love behind what you're doing. So thank you once again. Thank you to the members of the group for sharing with us your musical knowledge as well as the kirtans, bhajans. My name is Dexter Henry, for those of you all who don't know me. Originally from that little city of gold, El Dorado, where Sita would have grew up. So I know their family for many years. I've known Anjani from a little girl growing up. And today they chose to celebrate not just by themselves this milestone that they achieved in life after encountering many trials and tribulations and the happy times, the bad times, good times. They chose to bring together family, friends, to not just be present, but also receive that blessing as well, to be part. And what other way to celebrate than the way they choose to bring us all together here in satsang, to reverend in the name of God. And that Shiv Puran is one of the best places to actually sit and listen to the word of God.
Sure.
So again, let me just say on behalf of my family and myself, wishing you all Bhagwan's choicest blessings. May you be blessed to enjoy the best of all that you want in life, to be happy and well loved, surrounded by all your close family, friends, and always enjoy that peace and comfort. So happy anniversary and all the best. Sitaram, thank you.
Sit down. Well said, well said. Tonight, as we pause here before we do RT, after saying all these things that we've mentioned tonight, somebody at a simple from let me say from a child's perspective, mommy, why that cow there by the lingam? Understand that that person works for that position. Whatever you and I might have in our life, the home, what you might take for granted, the job, the car, your ability to analyze a problem, solve the problem, work out the decision that needs to be made. I got an easy example. You put one like me, you put one like this child in the purple in the kitchen, we lost. We lost, we lost. Make it worse. Imagine I overthrow salt in the pot. What to do now? And my drama tonight? Send she, Pandit, Mamu, throw some aloo, throw some tomatoes. Come on, we could fix that. You do this, you do that, and you could fix it. There are some people who have that ability to manage crisis, manage pain, manage, different tests. But sometimes we all need a little reminder. So, from time to time, the Hindu goes and touch the lingam of a dar like the diya. But as Sergeant says, this is where, when we sit to talk, we have to talk about these types of moments. Why? After passing through the pandemic and passing through with all the financial turbulence we have now, the way bills are going up and jobs people are losing, suicide is through the roof, alcohol and everything, family life to the dog. Sometimes people need to be reminded, listen, better days are coming. Happy days are coming. Hold on, hold on, hold on. For the sake of the children, hold on. In that marriage, it ain't right now. It could be right just now. It is a battle. Sometimes we listen to Katha, I agree. And you hear about Sri Ram fighting Ravan, but it ain't nobody driving chariot now. No, I agree. Now they're pulling up with a Tida or a car, and you're getting the same bow and arrow shooting at you. In different ways, the same struggle exists. But if we know how to solve the problem, then life could become triumphant rather than a tragedy. It's how we make it at the end of the day. Everybody, I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed our short time together. As we reach to the end of our time tonight, join with me tomorrow night as we'll be doing. I want to do for you, just to give you a little heads up. Why do we put up that Hanuman flag so tall? Why is it really placed? What is the big fuss? Truthfully, any rough man come by to do job, you go here, oh, we have to tie this red cloth, They just get it wrong because it is offer alcohol on it. They just bathe it with alcohol. They just have to wash their hand with alcohol. They go in and dig the grave. They have to wash the shovel with punch into. All kind of craziness. If they only know that red cloth represent the Hanuman, would they do it? I don't know. But that red flag cross barriers. There are so many people that are not Hindu, not of this race, but they believe in the power of that red flag. Have you ever seen the Iron Man? Whole battery behind and his red cloth flying, regardless to the background. But I just wanted to consider what I said. Why? Why? Tomorrow this country is going to be red. Hindus all over. Red kurta, red shalwar, whatever have you. Red flags. I never see so much red flag in my life. Truthfully. Why? Was it big fuss? On the cover of your Bhagavad Gita, when you go home, watch yours. Hanuman, one of the first places a flag is placed is on the cover of this, on the top of Arjun's chariot. That is technically the discourse we're going to talk about tomorrow night. And if God really bless with that, we get to be together. By the end of tomorrow night's discourse, God bless you, that you value what you have, but know the value. Know the value of what you do. This is our intention with tomorrow night's discourse. Everybody, for now, Umapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Let's all stand as we do closing arti. Put your hand together as they make ready with their arti, their tali. And for a second, let's just pray a little bit. Holy Tarya and stand. Let me say we prayers. In this stotra taken from the Chandi part, the person prays that, Mother, you are the goddess, you are the energy of everything. And if you wish me to have faith, you could give me that. You are the giver and granter of everything. Is it right? Yeah. You are the giver of every grace, and you are the giver of every ability. I don't know how I learned to cook. I don't know how I'm able to understand maths. Who teach you these things? For the lady, who teach you how to make the milk for the baby? Who teach you to do that? In our belief, Durga Mata gives you gifts that allows you to function. Mother, please, when testing times come, when harsh times come, give me faith. Devi prapan artha harte prasidhya prasidhya matar jagato akila shraddha prasidh vishveshwari पाहि विषम त्वं शबरी देवी चराकरस्य दुर्गा जगत त्वमेक महिषास्वरूपिणी यथा स्थिति तस्मै नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शांति रूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै नमस्तस्यै नमस्तस्यै
नमो नमः
together everybody let's pray ya devi sarvabhuteshu shraddha rupena samstita namastasyai 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 namo namah one more ya devi sarvabhuteshu shakti rupena samstita namastasyai 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 namo namah. Dear Lord, as we are about to wave this light, bless me with light in my life. If there's an unguarded moment, if tomorrow there's an accident, if there's an incident, dear Lord, I don't see trouble coming, and I'm dependent on you for grace and for help. Just as tonight, this father has to hear about death and the possibility of loss, but your prayer trumps every incident. Bless me to be such a devotee. Bless me to abide by this example and get that light in my life. Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Jai Jagadish Hare Bhakta Jano ke Sangat. Everybody. Swami dukha vinase man ka sukha sampati ghar aave sukha sampati ghar aave kashtami ke tan ka om jai jagadish hare
माता पिता तुम मेरे शरण कहो कि सखी स्वामी शरण कहो कि सखी तुम बिना और न दूजा तुम बिना और न दूजा आश करो जिस सखी ओम जय जगदीश हरे करुणा के सागर तुम पालन करता स्वामी तुम पालन करता दीन दयालु कृपालु दीन दयालु कृपालु कृपा करो बरता ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम हो एक गोचर सबके प्राणपति स्वामी सबके प्राणपति किस विधि मिलो दया में किस विधि मिलो दया में तुमको मैं कुमकी ओम जय जगदीश हरे विषय विकार मिटाओ पाप हरो देवा स्वामी पाप हरो देवा श्रद्धा भक्ति भराओ श्रद्धा भक्ति भराओ संतन के सेवा ओम जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी
Nath Narayana Vasudeva.
Jai Nath Narayana Vasudeva.
Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai.
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 Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai.
Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai.
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
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 Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Together, everybody. Tvameva Mata,
Sapita Tvameva.
Tvameva Bandhuscha,
Sakha Tvameva.
Tvameva Vidya,
Dravinam Tvameva.
Tvameva Sarvam,
Mama Deva Deva.
Tvameva Sarvam.
Mama Deva Deva.
Om Shanti, 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 Hari Om. Prem Sabalo Mahapati Mahadeva ki, Pauna Putra Hanuman ki, Shri Adi Shakti Mata ki, Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki, Jai Satya Sanatan Dharma ki, Jai 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 Sitaram. Sitaram everybody.